Back home, there is a freebie newspaper that you can get in front of restaurants and gas stations and such, called Lakeside on Lanier. And it's a pretty good sized newspaper. And after we had the big storm on Lake Lanier and I became popular with the Weather Channel, we were called by one of the people from the paper wanting to know if they could do a story on us and how we live between our houseboat and our RV. So Watts on Wheels and Water is on page 18. The article actually ended up being more than a full page. So this story is about us, how we met, and how we got on the road. So it's more information about us, so I'm just going to read you the story. We're Dave and Karen from Watts on Wheels, and we sold our sticks and bricks to RV full-time now that we are retired. We travel with our heavy-duty truck Leroy, our 2 K&M motorcycles, our DRV Dixie, and our smart car Zippy. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when we post a new video. Once upon a time, with Lanier as home base, couple travels the country. Watts on Wheels and Water by Pamela Keene. This section of the newspaper is called Shorelines. And from the fascinating to the remarkable Lake Lanier harbors, many personalities and places along its shores, Lakeside presents Shorelines, stories about people who live, work, and play around the lake and the places that make the area special. So here's what Pamela wrote. You could say their adventure started when Dave and Karen Watts decided to purchase a houseboat for weekend getaways on Lake Lanier in 2007. Or was it in 2016 when Dave purchased a Can-Am 3-wheel Spider motorcycle and Karen soon got one to match? But wait, maybe their lifetime adventure goes back to their purchase of the DRV luxury 5th wheel and a full-size Volvo long-haul semi-tractor outfitted with a kitchen, sleeping quarters, and a place for their matching white Can-Am bikes in 2017. If you want the truth, the day the couple met back in 1999 through an online dating service was a definitive beginning of their current life's adventures as footloose explorers of North America. I knew the moment I saw her that it was like we'd always known each other, said Dave, as Karen nods enthusiastically. Everything else just led from there, she said, from both of us wanting to buy a house on the lake to getting a houseboat to buying our rig to the way we live now. The couple, who have been married 19 years, practically finish each other's sentences. There's a little bit of friendly ribbing, a very endearing trait, but you can tell that they're, pardon the pun, like 2 peas in a pod. Water lovers. Both were raised around water. Karen's father was a charter captain on Lake Erie, so she spent many years power boating and sailing. Dave grew up near Detroit, power boating and sailing on Lake Huron. Boating had been part of their lives long before they met on the AOL Romance channel in the late 90s. They married 2 years later in 2001. We had our honeymoon on a houseboat on Lake Cumberland in Kentucky, Karen said. After that, and we had a taste of what houseboats were like, we knew we'd one day have to buy one for ourselves. They needed a few more years of work under their belts before becoming self-proclaimed nomads. Karen, an Ohio/Michigan native, worked in automotive and aerospace quality management. Dave, a builder and cabinet maker, decided to start flipping and or renting residential real estate. Finding Lanier online. They found Gainesville and Lake Lanier in 2005, much the way they found each other, through the internet. There was a website called findyourspot.com. And I completed the questionnaire while Dave was at work one day, Karen said. When he got home, I encouraged him to fill out his own responses, and wouldn't you know it, analysis of our 2 sets of answers brought up about 15 places that were suitable for us, several of them overlapped, including Gainesville, Georgia. Karen, who said she was ready to get away from snow, and Dave, who knew he could transport his business south from Michigan, chose Gainesville and Lake Lanier. The water lovers had found their niche. They built a house on the lake in 2005 and started making plans, eventually shopping for a houseboat. By 2007, a 1990 Somerset caught their eye. They still keep it at Aqualand Marina, where they split time between their house and their houseboat. A pontoon boat provided extra flexibility for exploring the lake's creeks and the coves. Karen fully retired in September of 2017. Shortly after, Dave hired a property management company for his investment home so that he could start planning for the next phase of their lives.
I'm going to take a little break in reading to you right now and just show you a few pictures of some of the work that Dave has done. We were fortunate during the foreclosure time period to come across some homes at really great deals at sheriff sales and auctions and foreclosures. Dave is very talented, and it was amazing work that he did all by himself on renovating multiple homes that we currently rent.
Adding toys. That's when Dave decided he wanted a Can-Am. An internet search turned up just what he wanted, but it was in Florida. Their Georgia dealer brought the bike back to Georgia using a toy hauler, a concept that would further open the door for their future travels. After Karen rode Dave's bike, she decided she wanted a matching one. It gave us some freedom to take to the road, Karen said, but we realized that we liked having everything with us, so we started looking for an RV. They both did internet research and traveled to RV shows for more than a year to find exactly what they wanted, because a regular RV just wasn't going to do. From floor plans to amenities, they finally found a used DRV Mobile Suites, a luxury fifth wheel camper with all the comforts of home, and bought it sight unseen. Soon they were looking for a tow vehicle big enough to pull it, plus their 2 Can-Ams and a smart car. They purchased a used Volvo 780 semi-tractor in Kansas, even though neither had ever driven a truck like it before. Additions included a hydraulic stacker lift to the bed of the truck for the 2 Can-Am motorcycles and a tote to the rear of the fifth wheel to carry their smart car. By late 2017, after selling their house, they finally ventured out in their customized rig. They believe their setup is the only one like it in the world. Traveling the U.S. Their first trip to Crystal River, Florida, lasted a couple of weeks. Already we could see that the RV life was such a good way to meet people and do short sightseeing trips on the motorcycles, she said. From there, it just kept going. Karen said she always wanted to go out west, so they've made several trips that include Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. Their bucket list includes Alaska. In all, they've been to 25 states in about 30 months. It's really not about going to every state or checking off some kind of list, Dave said. We just like to go where we want and take our time and explore this beautiful country and make new, great friends. They joined an online group called rvillage.com. That connects RVers with others who live the life of adventure. It's like Facebook for RVers, Karen said. From finding out what events and rallies are out there to catching up with friends we've met along the way, it's been an amazing community builder. We feel like we have friends everywhere. Keeping in touch. 2 years ago, Karen started a YouTube channel called Watts on Wheels to chronicle their travels. It grew into a way to communicate with family, friends, and like-minded people from across the country. As the YouTube channel grew, they added repair and maintenance tips, campground reviews, tourist adventures, and recipes. The videos cover everything from ideas for the road to coverage of the massive microburst in early August on Lake Lanier, known as the Hour of Terror, which was broadcasted in part on Atlanta television affiliations and the Weather Channel. The video has been viewed more than 380,000 times as of September. Her YouTube overview sets the stage as Karen introduces their lives, where she says, "We're Dave and Karen from Watts on Wheels. We sold our sticks and bricks to RV full-time now that we are retired. We travel with our heavy-duty truck Leroy, 2 Can-Am motorcycles, our DRV Dixie, and our smart car Zippy. We won't ever give up RVing and houseboating," Dave said. "Not unless something drastic happens. As long as we have our health, we're going to keep traveling. This is our life, and we're enjoying every single minute," Karen added. "Who would have thought that 20 years ago, we'd be living this lifestyle the way we are. You certainly couldn't have convinced me, but now I wouldn't have it any other way. Dave chimed in, how many people do you know that say, I've got my bucket list and I'll get to it someday? Well, I'll tell you, there's no someday. As Dave said, that's now, my friend. It's time to live your dream.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below, even if it's just to say hi. Don't forget to subscribe.